This is the Lowco FC podcast. Here are your hosts, Wes Kerr and Misael Garzon.
Welcome in on a Sunday night. I am Wes Kerr. He is Misael Garzon, and we are here to wrap up this Lowco high school soccer season and crown a pair of state champs because Beaufort Academy girls and Hilton Head Prep girls were each victorious on Saturday, and they are state champions for the 2022-23 soccer school year season. So we had 5 state championship games. So we brought home hardware in 2 of them. A couple tough ones across the board, including the one that we were at. Beaufort High falling 3-0 to a very, very good Daniel team. You and I were both there. We'll definitely recap and give you some analysis on that one. But first off, how are you doing, Misael? How are you doing? And what a great day it was on Saturday, getting to see 2 Lowco squads crown state champions.
Yeah, first off, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who are tuning in right now. Hope you guys had a great dinner, got spoiled all day, and you've enjoyed dessert, and now you're kind of just sitting back watching some Lowco FC. But yeah, great weekend. We had 5 championship games, 6 Lowco teams represented across the board in Skeeza and high school league. A little tired. I was in Columbia all day yesterday with the high school league games, just kind of helping out there with the coach association. But got to see a great game with Beaufort and Daniel. Tough loss for the Eagles, but they played the Beaufort way all the way through until the very end. So there's nothing to be ashamed of down there for the Beaufort Eagles. And then we have 2 girls state champions, Beaufort Academy girls who won their 2A, 1A Skeeza championship, and the Hilton Head Prep girls who won the 3A girls championship. So kudos to them and congrats to them.
Yeah, congratulations to the Lady Dolphins and the Lady Eagles. And we have some Dolphins in the green room waiting to talk about their state championship triumph in just a few minutes with an impressive victory of 6-0 over Christian Academy of Myrtle Beach. Very dominant performance after the 8-2 pounding of JP2. They finish off the job in another dominant victory. So great stuff there for the Dolphins. They get to the mountaintop and win the state championship in the Skeeza 3A this year. And then Beaufort Academy, Lady Eagles with the win in a Lowco duel over Holy Trinity. They are your state champions in that 1A, 2A bracket. They win 3-1 over the Mighty Lions. Unfortunately, Holy Trinity boys falling to Charleston Collegiate 6-0, and BA boys losing to Greenwood Christian 3-1. But we do have a pair of state champions, including these Hilton Head Prep Dolphins. So let's get them in now. Congratulations to this Dolphin squad, Coach Reese McMillan and Kyle Adondo and Kat Zamora. Guys, how are you feeling? It's got to be a fantastic Sunday for you guys, Mother's Day, and celebrate a state championship.
That would be an understatement for me. This was a long time.
It feels really
Kat,
good.
how does it feel as a senior?
It feels really good that I ended out on the high note. Yeah, it's really exciting.
Reese McMillan, the head coach of the Hilton Head Prep Dolphins, along with Kat Zamora and Cal Adondo. Cal, what a postseason for you. Absolutely lighted up in the back of the net a couple of times, including finishing it out with a memorable performance in that state championship game. I mean, just a tremendous postseason for you, and you cap it off with another stellar performance, a hat trick and an assist. So contributing in 4 of those goals and just capping off a spectacular postseason. Cal, just take me through what has been an unforgettable week for you.
Well, I think we wouldn't have been able to do this without Coach Risa. She's led this team in many ways, but she's been really positive throughout the season. And we've had some difficult losses, but every single game we've come out with a positive outcome because of her. And I think that's what led us to this state champion.
Yeah, no, definitely. Coach Reese, talking about those early season losses, guys, you had a very front-loaded Georgia schedule when you were playing all the Georgia teams, the private school teams, and you guys were 3-4. But then you put off 11 wins in a row to lead you to a state championship, and not just winning, but in dominant fashion. What was the mindset creating such a tough early season schedule to kind of get the team ready for what was going to be a tough region run and then hopefully a culmination of a state championship?
I think
So that was all on purpose. That was completely everything. I did 90% of our schedule season. We have had so many seasons in the past where we had easy game after easy game, mercy rule. And that's all fun and good when winning big. And then you get to states and you're in the big games and it's like, oh, rats, we weren't ready for this. We just weren't. And we have been there before and done that. And I was not going to let that happen this year. So I literally reached out to every within reach public school in Georgia that I could find. And a lot of them were receptive to playing us. And I think we'll see them every year from now on out. And I told my girls, we went through a juggernaut in the middle of the season. And that's what I called it. We had 6 games in 2 weeks and 4 of those were away. And all of them, I think, except for one, was just super competitive. Richmond Hill, St. Vincent's, we had a team coming here from Atlanta, and they toughed that out. And I told them when we get to the other side of this juggernaut, y'all are going to win out the season.
Yeah,
and they did. So right. they had to figure it out. I'm sorry?
I said Coach was absolutely right.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well,
it was an amazing evolution to watch.
Remarkable job there the last month of the season. And you guys also beat a very good May River team back on March 29th, 2-1. Great battle there against a Shark team that made some noise over there in Region 7-4A. So that's a heck of a win, and kind of carried that over with the rest of the season. That last loss to Richmond Hill back on the 23rd, and you won out the rest of the way. So it was spectacular last month of the season or so. How did you embrace that challenge, Cal and Kat, playing against some very strong competition from Savannah, from other spots in South Carolina? How did you use those experiences to, bond each other further as teammates and help you guys get better as a whole, that when you were ready for the postseason, you were going to hit the ground running?
I think it just taught us to come together as a team. Soccer isn't just a one-man sport, and we win as a team and we lose as a team. And I also think it taught us to play fast. All these teams, they were big and fast from all over the place. And I think, as you guys probably saw, the last 2 games, everything just clicked and we were passing the ball around really well. And I think it's because of those teams that they taught us that you can't take 20 touches on the ball in the midfield. You can't freak out. You just have to play. And I just think those teams helped us do that.
Yeah, I think we went into all those hard games, like the games against Georgia, with a mindset that we knew this game was going to be hard and we knew that we needed to play our game and not get too scared of the hard competition. And I think going against these teams helped us, like what Kat said, succeed in our last 2 games and let everything click.
I was there at that JP2 game in the semifinal. I mean, one of the best performances I've ever seen here at this level of postseason play. Just domination from the first whistle to the final whistle. And the offense was in sync the entire time. Just the speed, the passing, to hook up with your teammates over the top and get those looks on goal with that, the speed of your teammates like Ashley Brothers and you guys, and also on the set pieces. Callaway, your goals in the corner, heading the ball in. Just really impressive finishing. Everything clicked. I mean, how impressed were you guys with how you came out there against a rival team that you just squeaked by a couple of 1-goal victories, but absolutely in charge from the start in that game? Just take me through how you prepared to see JP2 in that showdown for the semifinals.
Well, I think we went into the game we've played them 2 games before, actually. And I think we all just went into the game knowing that we can do this and that we knew that this was going to be a hard game. But I think we all went into the game with a positive mindset and we played our game, and we wanted to dominate because we wanted to be ready for state, and so we just played our hardest all the way to the end.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Kat.
Yeah, I just think against JP2, we expected it to be a really hard game, and I don't know, we brought a lot of fans from our school, as you guys probably saw, and I think that contributed a lot because I don't know, I just think you want to play well for your team and for the people watching. And I think that one of the most important things is, like, even though we were winning, I think it was 4-0 at half, we didn't step off the break. We kept going, and even when they scored that first and second goal, we said it's okay, keep going. Like, the game's not over yet, and I think we didn't give up and we kept going to the end.
0-0 mentality.
Yeah, no, definitely. So now, this is for Coach and for Kat. Last year, you guys had high expectations going all the way in state championship, and that came up short against Pinewood Prep. So how much of that was a factor this year, especially for you, Kat, as a senior, your final year, to make sure that didn't happen again and you guys were able to go all the way and win a state championship?
Yeah, I think this year the captains and I kind of wanted everyone to feel like a family, and I think by the end of the season, we all wanted to win for each other. And so I think that's what really contributed to. Also, just it comes down to our chemistry as a team. You know, we bonded a lot this year, and I think that's why at the end of the season, you could kind of tell our game has changed because we knew where everyone was going to be. We knew what foot to pass it on. We knew how Kala has amazing strikes, and we knew to tell her to turn and to go.
I think what also helped us win the state title was our leaders, like our 4 seniors. Like, without them, our team wouldn't have been as connected as it was because we came into the season with a lot of new girls like me. We had a lot of freshmen, but they didn't ever exclude us. They always included us, and they didn't like come in like we're the leaders. Like, you're doing it wrong. Like, they always made sure that everyone knew what was going on, and they never left anyone out, and they were really great leaders to our team.
Yeah, it was only 4 of us that played together. And so that was a challenge coming into the season because, you know, chemistry is a big thing. And I think with Reese's help, too, we bonded together as a team, and we took our losses and our wins together.
Coach, how impressed are you about how
I'd like
senior leaders bonded towards the end of the season, carried this team over the top?
They were amazing. And we needed them to step up because we graduated six starting seniors last year, and that included Player of the Year and I think 6 All-Region. So we were almost starting from scratch this season. And like Kala said, we had a lot of new faces on the field. And we started at the beginning, and it was like, okay, we have a lot of soccer players on the soccer field, but they're just soccer players playing their game of soccer. And they had to figure out how to play as a team. And our seniors were integral to get that to happen locally and just all over the whole field. It was amazing evolution. Honestly, from day one to the state playoffs, when they put it all together, it was just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna throw some stats here just to give the viewers an idea of how dominant this team was towards the end of the season. They finished winning 11 in a row with a combined record of 11-0. They beat 11-0, but they had 57 goals for and only 7 goals allowed. That is very impressive, especially for a young team where you have so many new players. And in the final, in the 3 playoff games, 24 goals for, 2 goals against. That's just dominating fashion. So, how Kat, for you as a senior, well, how do you feel leaving the legacy you guys are leaving? Where you lost 6 seniors last year, you lost all region players, a player of the year. This is supposed to be a rebuilding season, and you guys rebuilt by winning a state championship. So, Kat, and all 3 of you guys, how does that feel that your rebuild led to a state championship?
Feels really good, honestly. Like, coming into this season, the first practice, I knew that we had amazing players, and it was going to take some time to put it all together and to get players into the right positions. But you could tell that it's just pure talent on that field, and you can't teach that.
Yeah, we definitely had to move people around at the beginning. There was a learning factor there, and we had a lot of moving parts, but we got there. So it's great.
Yeah, that's what I would pretty much say.
Well, it's always nice to have a young spark out there who's putting the ball in the back of the net. And Ashley Brothers, 8th grader, was an absolute sensation. How impressed were you all of what she brought to this team, and especially, what she was able to do with that scoring touch and her ability to just fly past the defense and put the ball back in the net again and again, and become an integral part of how this team was able to score in bunches this year?
Well, I've known Ashley for a while now because
Ashley is. Go ahead.
Well, me and Ashley used to play at the same club, Formenta, and so we've known each other for a while, and I always knew she had that little spark to her. So coming to this school, I didn't know she went to this school, and when I saw the first time I saw her was the first practice we had, and I was like, I know this is going to be a good season with her as our striker, because she's fast and she's physical, and she's small, but she's probably one of the most physical players on our team.
Yeah, she does not fear anything, that girl.
Yeah.
I think last game she took the ball. There was a free kick and she took the ball by her back and just didn't flinch at all.
Yep.
She's honestly like a little firecracker up there, and it's so amazing to watch that happen from the back, because that girl has no fear and she's a really good player.
She is a true competitor, and yeah, we were blessed. We were blessed with her, and she was actually, her position is center midfield, and we started her the season at center midfield, and one of our struggles was finishing. So I put her up. I'm not sure how happy she was. I put her up at striker, and she embraced the position and was outstanding all season.
And her sister getting the clean sheet in goal, Emily Brothers. That's a terrific family. We've seen a bunch of brothers, siblings come through here. Hilton and Prep. Avery Brothers, a great tennis player. So incredible athletic family who still has a bright future ahead. Especially Ashley, just an 8th grader going into her freshman season. She's already a budding star over there at the Skeeza level. But I want to shine a light on some players who haven't gotten as much attention. I'm talking about that back line of Madeline Schliemann, Una Ehlers, Catalina Zamora, Alexis Terry, and Sofina Hartulian, who were absolute, as you mentioned, rock solid on that back line defending. And, obviously the goalie gets a lot of credit, but when you look at a clean sheet, everybody on defense has to be on the same page. And, you guys, including you, Kat, of course, a big part of that as a senior, just excellent. Be able to, clean up loose balls there and make sure to, just stay strong and keep defending. And that was a huge part of why you're able to come out on top and concede the few amount of goals that you did allow in these last few games. So just, describe how important that back line, that defensive group has been down the stretch of the season and in these last 3 games to win state championship.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can see that with the scoring, like how many goals against us we have. The back line works together, and in the beginning of the season, we were all new. We didn't know each other, so we didn't really know how to work together. We didn't know if the person likes to take a touch or to clear it or what foot they like better. And I think once we started playing with each other more and more, we really realized that we do connect well together. And I also think it was hard because Alexis and I were the only seniors in the back line. And so that was really hard because we were the only 2 that have played together. So it was hard connecting Una and Madeline, but once we got there, it was really cool to see.
And for me, as an attacking player, I knew that if I wanted to drive forward, I knew I had people that I trusted behind me. That if I were to lose the ball, that it wasn't the end of the world because I trusted them with 100% of the time I would trust them. because they got it most of the time, and it was great for me because I knew that I was able to go score goals because of them.
Yeah, going off what Calla said, I think it allowed the offense to go forward more and to take risks more, because we all trusted each other that even if they were to mess up, we would work together to get it back.
Yeah, they were amazing back there, and Kat especially. She just stepped to on every ball, no panic whatsoever. You'd have these fast strikers coming down the field, and she absolutely just took it away from them and distributed the ball calmly up the field, no panic, nothing. It was just the defense learned to work together, and is a huge reason for our success this season.
Yeah, so again, we are here live on Lowco FC with our Class 3A Skeezer Girls State Champions. And my last question for you guys is, state champions, how does that feel? Walk us through that moment when you guys, the final whistle blew, and then how you woke up this morning when you guys got home last night. Walk us through what you guys felt in that moment.
Pure joy. It's so exciting. Right when that final whistle blew, Bryn Miller and I looked at each other and we just started crying, because yes, it's our last game, but it feels so good to go out with a bang. And I will always remember this.
There's no better feeling than going out on top and winning that last game. Calla, just a sophomore, you'll be back this year. How much are you looking forward to what you could see with the potential? Obviously, a couple of losses, but you're going to be a big-time leader of this squad. How excited are you looking forward to taking up a more of a leadership role as you look to defend your title next year?
I'm really excited. I think I had good leaders this year that showed me how to get the job done, and Risa being my coach, I think will really help show me what a leadership position is like. And I think we're going to have we're going for state champs next year too. So I think we got it.
Well, we're excited.
Let's go.
Well, we're already looking forward to seeing if you guys can go back to back in 2024. But for now, enjoy it, celebrate, just take it all in. And, remember what you guys did this year. I mean, what a spectacular season, especially that last month, undefeated all the way to the state championship. Fantastic accomplishment. Congratulations to all three of you. And, thank you guys for coming on the podcast today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you all for having us, and thank you so much for what you do for sports in the Lowco. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you all so much. And we can't do it without the hard work of all of you. And we love shining a light on the student athletes, but you're the guys who inspire us and get the work done. So thank you again. Happy Mother's Day, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
State champs, let's go.
All right, Misa, well, what a fantastic team that was, and what a run there towards the state championship. You ran off a bunch of those stats, but I just look at those last two games, 8-2 over JP2. Like I said, one of the most dominant single-team performances I've seen at the high school level in a semifinal like that, and then do it in the biggest game of the year in the state championship to shut out a team 6-0 like that. A very good Christian County Myrtle Beach team too that beat HHGA 3-2. That is some impressive stuff there from the squad. I mean, all the credit to Kat Zamora, their senior leadership, as we saw in the interview. It's extremely important. The youthful energy of Ashley Brothers, and then you just the cohesiveness of that back line, which I mentioned and talked about. What a terrific team, what a story, and just so proud of those girls and Coach Risa.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, going 11-0 to finish the season in the dominant fashion that they did, and then the playoff run. I mean, Christian Academy came into the game 12-1. They had only lost one game this year, so it wasn't like it was a lopsided matchup. It was a tough matchup in our preview. We said it could be a very tough matchup for prep girls, and they came out and completely dominated. I think the craziest part of all this is they're only losing 4 seniors, right? This is a very, very young team, a super young team that's freshman-led. Cal is a sophomore. Ashley Brothers will be a freshman next year. And then her sister, Emily, who's a goalkeeper, she'll be a senior. So this is still a young squad that's going to build from this. So just imagine how well they finished this year and what they could do next year as they look to repeat for a second state championship. But definitely a dominant season. We kept talking about throughout the podcast of how they were doing, and kind of started off rough with that tough schedule with Georgia teams and then May River as well. But they just kind of turned it around. And like Coach Risa said, there was intention to that, playing a tough schedule because of the what they saw previous years and struggling against tough teams. She wanted to make sure the girls understood and knew what it took to go all the way and win these tough games. And I think you saw the results at the end in dominant fashion.
Well, it certainly paid off. To go against those top squads early, to know what it took to be a quality side and win those big games. And we saw that pay off down the stretch these last few weeks. And then just one of the most dominant playoff runs we've seen at this Giza level for girls soccer. So once again, congrats to the Dolphins. And we have a lot more coming up here on this season finale here of Lowco FC. Still a lot to get to, including another state champion. We're going to be live with Beaufort Academy, who we talked to earlier, I believe a week ago or a couple days ago. It was Keely Good back on Friday. We spoke with her before that Beaufort Academy state championship. They come out on top in a 3-1 victory over Holy Trinity. We will get Keely back on after this short break. Time to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back here on Lowco FC.
Hey Lowco sports fans, this podcast and all of our grassroots local sports content are made possible by support from community sponsors, including Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate attorneys of Lowco Sports, and the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Our original sponsors are still among our greatest supporters. Ryan and Tiffany Mickelson are community pillars who will be in your corner no matter your legal needs. When you need legal representation, call on the attorneys who support Team Lowco. Call Mickelson Law Firm. Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, the official hospice provider of Lowco Sports, and the only not-for-profit hospice in southern Beaufort County. For more than 30 years, the committed, compassionate staff at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry have been there to ensure your loved ones find comfort, honor, and dignity at the end of life. Because at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of Lowco Sports. Jan Lucas and his team provide thorough, detailed home inspections aimed to ensure everyone goes into the transaction with open eyes and confidence. Jan would rather reveal an inconvenient truth than look the other way and provide reassurances that could come back to burn the buyer in the long run. If you're looking to buy or sell a home and need an honest, reliable inspector, call on Homegrown Home Inspections, official sponsors of Lowco Sports. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of Lowco Sports. If your business or organization has a website and you're trying to figure out what SEO is, you need to call on Denise and Dave Sinkovich at DDS Web Design. They'll provide a free consultation and do all the behind-the-scenes work to boost your search engine optimization and get your website found online so you can take your business to the next level. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of Lowco Sports. American Wood Reface, sustaining sponsors of Lowco Sports. Does your kitchen need a facelift? Before you start picking out new cabinets, give Ben and the team at American Wood Reface a shot. They can reface your existing cabinets to overhaul your aesthetic without the hefty price tag and reimagine your kitchen at a price point you can manage. Be sure to tell them Lowco sent you, because every referral helps support Lowco Sports. 4M Metals, sustaining sponsor of Lowco Sports. Got metal? Your roof might need it. Metal roofing advantages include better energy efficiency, weather protection, longevity, a more aesthetically pleasing design, and the product is all green. So if you've been thinking about a new roof, go metal. Let 4M Metals be the difference in your roof. Jay's Barbershop. It's the talk of the town and the place to be in Ridgeland. If you need your ears lowered, head over to Jay's for a fresh cut and great conversation with good folks. And tell them Lowco sent you. Local Pie, official pizza sponsor of Lowco Sports. They sling some of the best pies in the Lowco, and my kids say the mac and cheese is the best around. Hungry? Hit up Local Pie, longtime supporter of Lowco Sports. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry, the official floor cleaners of LowcoSports.com. If your feet tell you your floors need cleaning, call on Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. They provide residential and commercial services, including cleaning carpet and area rugs, tile and grout, upholstery, curtains and drapes, mattresses, and more. But most importantly, they'll get those floors so clean, your feet will thank them. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Hilton Head Prep is a sustaining sponsor of Lowco Sports. and we tell you all about the Dolphins' athletic exploits. But did you know it's also the #1 ranked private K-12 school in Beaufort County and ranks in the top 2.5% of schools nationwide? Visit hhprep.org to see what Hilton Head Prep has to offer. Beaufort Academy is a sustaining sponsor of Lowco Sports, and we love covering the Eagles. With a student-to-faculty ratio of 7-1 and an average class size of 14 students, Beaufort Academy could be just the educational solution you're looking for, with more one-on-one attention. BA has a strong history of working with the whole child to prepare each student for college and life. Check them out at BeaufortAcademy.org. Thank you to all of our sustaining and supporting sponsors for their support of LowcoSports.com. Go Lowco!
And welcome back to this state championship edition here of Lowco FC. 2 crowned state champs here in the Lowco. We just talked with the victorious Hilton Head Prep Dolphins, who downed Myrtle Beach Christian 6-0. Dolphin girls claim the Skeeza 3A title, and we'll be joined shortly by Kaylee Good of Beaufort Academy, who helped the BA Eagles win the 22A girls state bracket. But before she comes on, let's break down what we saw last night over at Irmo High School. A tough night for Beaufort High as they fall to a very, very good Daniel team 3-0. But those Eagles fought until the final whistle. Misa, you were on the call of that game, if I'm correct there. And so you get to see it up in the press box. Clearly, Daniel, the more talented side through most of those 80 minutes. Beaufort had a couple opportunities in the second half to try to get on the scoreboard, but they were neutralized by Daniel's strong back line, who not only shot the Beaufort Eagles, but they completed a rare clean sheet throughout the playoffs, did not allow a goal in all 5 playoff games. Super impressive. So just tell me how impressed you were of that Daniel team that we saw that clearly was the better side and won the state championship on Saturday night in Columbia.
Yeah, I think offensively, Daniel showed that they were going to be very aggressive, with their top player, Merck, their right winger. They went to him a lot in the first half. Once he realized that Beaufort's left back was going to struggle with keeping up with his speed, they just kept attacking. So the first 2 goals came from, Beaufort not clearing the ball correctly and just kind of rebound shots on set pieces, which were unfortunate. And then the third goal was just counterattacking right before the half. But Daniel's defense gave Beaufort fits in the first half where Beaufort couldn't really play. They were determined to play the long ball and use their speed to get in behind Daniel's defense. But Daniel's defense did a very good job limiting that and containing that. And they held Beaufort to 0 shots on goal in the first half. Only 1 shot in the whole first half. Now, the second half, Beaufort came out. They adjusted, made some tweaks. Daniel also decided to sit in, and they said, hey, we'd rather not lose and just continue. And, so they played a more defensive counter-attacking style. And Beaufort was able to get more attacks. They were physical. But one thing about Beaufort is, as I was saying in the broadcast, was that they're going to be physical and they're going to be aggressive throughout the whole match, regardless of the score. They're used to being down. This is nothing new for them. But unfortunately, with a very talented Daniel side, like you said, they went through the whole playoffs without allowing a single goal, which is something that's very difficult to do. And I think part of it also was you could tell Daniel had been there before. And Beaufort was kind of taken in by the moment early on with some, early bad touches, some bad turnovers, just different things that as a coach, when we played in 19, things that I saw from my players and from me that, you're there in that moment. And as much as trying to say it's just another game, it's the same turf, it's the same ball, it's just football, it kind of takes you in. So I think once Beaufort was able to get into the flow of the game and play their style, being down 3-0 against a very strong side is something difficult to come back against, especially in the state championship. So kudos to Daniel. But, once you were there on the sideline, Beaufort kept fighting throughout the whole game. They never gave up until the final whistle.
Especially in that second half. So many effort plays, a couple sliding tackles. They just upped the physicality. They wanted to go out to, they wanted to give them a good fight in that second half and make it respectable. They didn't want to give up, surrender any more goals. And they did a great job of fighting until that final whistle, and just really impressed by the cohesiveness of the squad to stay strong despite a couple of things going off the rails in that first half, letting in a few goals, but just really looked the part in that second half of a team that was competing for a state championship. Obviously, the physicality, the grit was there, and they were able to create a couple of good looks. Jack Troutman had a couple of opportunities and free kicks. Had a strong boot on goal, but was right to the goalkeeper. And then we saw another good opportunity near the end of the game that just missed a little high of the crossbar, which nearly put Beaufort on the board. So the chances were there, although they did a good job. I mean, obviously, when you have a 3-0 lead going in the second half, you're going to, implement that park the bus strategy and try to, concentrate your defense and more of your players on the field to try to protect the lead, which is, it's a nice luxury when you have the advantage to be able to do something like that and look to contain defensively. And Beaufort was, they had to try to navigate that, which, as Coach Rollins said post game, you have to be very skilled and very knowledgeable to score on that kind of defensive setting. But this group continued to battle, continued to fight and claw until the very end, and that's just commonplace for what these Beaufort teams have accomplished this year. Just to continue. And we saw on the baseball side. Before I went up to that Beaufort soccer game, how the baseball team win a walk-off home run earlier in that day. So just the effort that we see throughout these entire programs here at Beaufort High School. That these young men and young women, they know how to continue to work hard throughout a game, even when things are not going their way. They're going to stay strong and they're going to find a way to make it tough for other teams to close out games against them. So really inspiring effort, especially late by this Beaufort High squad. And one of the things I was thinking of that as this game drew toward an end, maybe it's a kind of like a South Point moment that we saw from that football team, first time the state championship, kind of overwhelmed in that moment, but came back the next year and got the job done beating Powdersville. So maybe a potential situation like that for this Beaufort team, now that they have the experience of playing a state championship game like this, they'll use this skill to try to get back there next time. Obviously, a couple of key losses on this team. But at the same time, Coach Rollins spoke of the number of players that he has cultivated that are underclassmen that are going to come back this year, this next coming season, with all that experience accumulated. And I think this team's going to be motivated to make another run in 2024.
Yeah, no, and I want to give kudos to Nigel Bell. He had some phenomenal saves in the game. The first half, he had 2 amazing saves from our view in the press box. Those shots were going in. And he just kind of just slid in and at the last second and puts enough on it to clear it and go for corner kicks. And then the second half, a header that was late in the first half, a header that went straight to goal. He was in the perfect position to stop that. But yeah, like you're saying, they're losing 12 seniors. That's a big class to lose. But he also has other underclassmen. Something Coach Rollins was able to do last night was he called up a few of his JV players, and some of the players were able to get minutes. You had a few sophomores that were able to get and play a good 10, 15 minutes towards the end of the game there, just to get them that experience of taking in that moment, right? So you kind of give them a taste, and hopefully that'll motivate them to work in the offseason to continue to get better and improve. So that way next year they're once again contending for a state championship as they were this year. But like you said, I thought about the South Point game as well with the football team where they went up against South Point first time. That was a huge loss. South Point came out victorious in a very lopsided match, but then they came back the next year and they completely dominated Powdersville with that amazing run game that you saw from the football team throughout the season. This could be the same for Beaufort. It all depends on how the boys take it and how they embrace the loss, right? So that's something you don't hear very often, is embracing the loss and being able to use that as a motivating factor to continue working, continue getting better. One of the perks of Beaufort is that down here you have so many teams in 4A with us, with Bluffton, with Hilton Head, that can give them a challenge that they can schedule and play competitive matches to get them ready for what's going to be another tough region. Philip Simmons should be strong in next year, as will Hanahan. And those are good tests, as we saw, as it benefited them throughout late in the season, especially in the lower state finals when they were able to win the penalties at Waccamaw to clinch a spot. So, Coach Rollins, the whole Beaufort program, nothing to be ashamed about. They played as you would expect Beaufort to play. They did not give up until the very end, even when the game was clearly out of hand and they were not going to win. Even when the announcer said 1 minute left, you still saw Beaufort attacking and trying to get a goal in and speeding up the play and being aggressive and challenging balls. So that just speaks to kind of what the culture of that program is, what the Coach Rollins in that senior class has done. And I expect this to continue into next season as well.
Yeah, all effort until that final whistle, and a lot to be proud of. And as you posted, I mean, as you tweeted about, there's no shame in losing to a side like this Daniel team. I mean, that from top to bottom, when you go up against a squad like that, and just giving more props to this Daniel team. You mentioned through a coaching change and through a couple of guys that they'd lost. I got to hear some of your commentary of the girls' game that happened before with the Travelers Rest in Waccamaw before we started the Beaufort game. But I heard you talking about about this Daniel team and how much how surprising it was that they've been able to play this well despite on some of the guys top end players that they lost. So what a run, what a season there for Daniel to complete that postseason clean sheet through 5 games, and to do it with some important turnover as well from year to year. It just goes to say how well coached that team is, and the leadership of how those teams have bonded, how those players have bonded with each other. And, it just from on the sidelines, the communication, they're saying out, trying to clear the ball when Beaufort was trying to get it to close to the box and try to set up something for a shot on net. Just the communication and the hustle, quicker, just a little quicker to loose balls. I mean, that just goes with so much conditioning and just so much, chemistry and just cohesiveness between some of those defenders who just know what to do when the moment's at its brightest, when the heat of a tough game rises and it gets the intensity ratchets up in a championship game. They rose to the occasion. Having that experience is everything. Being there before, as we mentioned, Daniel win back-to-back state titles. A lot of those players, were on that team a year ago, and they knew how to succeed when the pressure got to them. And of course, getting on top is early. You always want to get those quick goals. Have that breathing room early in the game. Unfortunately for Beaufort, just unable to clear a couple of times to give those lives an opportunity to get those goals early. But to Eddie Merck, I mean, what a terrific individual performance. Got on the scoreboard with the goal, and then a beautiful backdoor pass to his teammate right in the far post who buried it. Really nothing that Beaufort High's goalkeeper Nigel Bell could do on that one. But I mean, what a special talent Eddie Merck has been for this Daniel team, and just an all around terrific performance that Beaufort can take a lot away from themselves.
Yeah, no, Eddie Merck, all-state player, and we saw why yesterday. His speed, his technical ability, and his ability to get past the defenders out wide and then tuck it in. And, like you said, the third goal just made Nigel commit as he's supposed to. Nigel did the right thing there, but he had his striker completely unmarked across, played the ball across to him, easy tap-in goal. But, yeah, no, Daniel is that was a big thing is how are they going to respond, with a brand new coach, losing 3 all-state players as they did last year, one of them being a player of the year. That's usually tough to rebound from, but they just picked up where they left off. And the scary thing is a lot of the players on this roster are returning next year. So they're going to be the early preseason favorites to once again go for that three-peat, which is not easy to do, especially in 3A soccer and high school soccer, any level of soccer. With high schoolers, being able to have the focus and the mindset, you've won 2 in a row, you've been in 3 straight state championships, and you want to go back again with the roster that they have and kind of the coach they built. I wouldn't be surprised if they're back in it.
Well, I'll give you an example. Those Hilton teams in the early 2010s, that 2013 team, that was an exceptional group that lost over 10 seniors. I'll have them going to play college soccer. They get back the next year and they win it again. I mean, truly, there's a lot to say about that veteran experience and knowing what it takes to win those big games. And the next group of talent is underclassmen find a way to become leaders and get them themselves. I mean, we saw that with those Seahawk teams winning 4 in a row and got back the next year and almost won again. So it can be done, but you need a solid coach, a group that believes in themselves, and this Daniel team certainly fits the bill on all those departments. So congratulations to the Lions and to this Eagles team. I mean, what an inspiring run to make history. I mean, this was their first time in the state championship to get to where they have been. Only 2 teams get to say they played up until the very end, because that was Coach's goal. He wanted to be able to play until he can't play no more, and they played all the games they could.
Yeah, no, and we know when we interviewed Coach Rollins, he made it clear that his intention was to play until the very last day of the season, which was May 13th, which was last night. So definitely a historic season for the Eagles. The first time that a soccer program goes to the state championship at Beaufort High School. So kudos to them. Nothing to hang their heads about. And this is the 4th team in the public high school that from Beaufort County that's gone to a state championship. Hilton had 10 years ago, almost to this day, they won their first and only state championship with Coach Quinlan leading the charge. They also had gone to a state championship the previous year in 2012, lost, came back in 13 and won.
The great Wayne Quinlan, who's on the sideline again, coaching the Beaufort Eagles as an assistant. So you talk about that experience there. He knows how to motivate a team and be in that position before. He was in that position before in 2012 when they lost in the state championship game, got back next year and won it. So certainly you can say a lot about him being on the staff and, his ability to bounce the team back and just push them further. And, that's a great person to have on your sideline, someone who has been there before and knows how to succeed at the highest level. And how those were some fun teams. When the girls team and the boys team we're both winning over there, getting deep in the playoffs. It was a fun time to be a soccer fan. Chris McMurray, I believe, was the winner, scored the winner in that 2013 state championship game. So a couple of strong players there on that squad, and that was a fun team to watch back then. I can't believe it's been 10 years ago. That's crazy.
It's 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. So they were the first. And then Bluffton with Coach Fox went in 17, and they lost to a very strong Berea side in the final 3. I think it was 3-2 or 4-3, if I recall correctly. And then, of course, May River in 19, we won it against Indian Lands. And then Beaufort, now the 4th team on the public high school side that has made it all the way to the state championship game. So, in 10 years to have 4 of our local high school teams make it, that just kind of tells you how much growth there is in the boys program. You spoke, Wes, about the girls program with Hilton Head. They were a dynasty forever. They were always one of the top teams playing for state championships, winning a ton with Coach Ernie Susie. So that was already a standard set for public high school. Now kind of the boys were trying to play catch up. So having 4 teams in the 3A bracket make it to the state championship speaks a lot of where the programs are going and where the talent is going here. Because like you see, you're competing. If you look at the teams that played this weekend, you have your Charleston-based teams, you have your Greenville-based teams, you have your Columbia-based teams. That's kind of where the metropolitan areas are, where you see the big clubs. You have CSA in Greenville, you have SC United, in Columbia, and about 3 or 4 other clubs in the area. You got, Surf in Charleston, CSC, James Island, all these different clubs that have a bigger pool of players than what we do here in the Low Country. So to be able to see our teams compete, and we said before, we saw more teams in the playoffs this year go deeper runs on the boys and girls side than we did last year. And I think that's going to be something you're going to continue seeing, where you see the likes of a Ridgeland who went to the second round, won their region. You're seeing Bridges Prep, who went to the state champion, to the third round, lost to eventually state runner-up. You're seeing all these things. Beaufort, Battery Creek is looking to have a new young coach to kind of rebound. So you're seeing all these programs that are just kind of going on the right way. May River Girls in your youth squad, going to the third round of the playoffs. Bluffton Girls have been a consistent threat as well. So this is something that you want to see as a trend. So for me as a coach and advocate of football, soccer in this area, it's good to see the growth, not just shining in the club side, but also on our school side with our public and private schools. Yeah.
And let's just transition into a recap of this season. I mean, you guys started right there with just mentioning the growth of these teams and just the depth around here of the Low Country. I mean, May River girls, what a story that was, and what they're able to do, taking that team back to the playoffs. And Hilton had those girls, a perennial powerhouse team that's gotten to a couple of lower state finals, left out this year, and very, very surprising. But once again, it's just the depth and the talent that continues to be growing year not just one area, but accumulated throughout the Lowco, and the talent that we see everywhere across this region. I mean, it just continues to get better and better, and you can credit that to a lot of the programs like Tormenta, which has continued to grow over here in the Low Country area and throughout the coastal Georgia area as well, which has been able to attract some solid talent and add to that growth of player development. So the pipeline's continuing to grow. Soccer as a whole has continued to be one of those go-to sports that kids are starting to play here from a young age. And I just think as a country as a whole, this sport is on a terrific rise. I think nationally, but I think here in the South and in the Southeast, I think we're seeing a special boom of just the number of students that have taken to the sports. And speaking of which, we have one that I believe Kaylee Good's trying to come on here. We just saw her come in and out, but Kaylee, we'd love to have you back on here and talk about the Beaufort Academy State Championship win. So we'll give her a second here if she comes back on. But just your thoughts on what you expect to see in the future here of this Lowco soccer scene after a lot of growth both on the boys and girls side.
Yeah, I think we're gonna continue seeing a continued improvement. And I'm gonna give a quick shout out to a fresh from River High School. Didn't play for us this year. He's playing with Tormenta's MLS Next team, Marcus Jean Gilles. Write that name in handy. He's one of the few players in our area that has been invited to the youth national team camp, but he also just signed an academy contract with Inter Miami. So he is moving to Miami to go join their MLS academy full time, which is huge, which is very, very huge. I wish I could have had him for high school soccer, but obviously playing MLS Next, and he's a great player, great young man. He was a part of our track team this year, but he's a phenomenal young guy. I've known that kid for years and his family, always respectful, always great. But this is what you want to see, right? We've seen it on the girls' side for years with our girls' programs at Hilton Head, with Tormenta, and the success they've had, and the number of players that have gone to play at Division I level and higher. With the USO women's team at Tormenta FC that won the championship last year in the inaugural season, and now you're trying to see it on the boys' side as well. You have Tormenta with MLS Next. You got players from all over the region being recognized for all region, all state. You have the number of teams that we've had in state championships on the Skiza side and on the high school league side, playing deep rounds in the playoffs. You have clubs like Beaufort Rush who is growing and trying to bring a deeper and more depth to the talent overall. It's just going to continue to get better, in my opinion, where you're going to see a consistency where, Wes, if we keep this Lowco FC thing going, we're going to just start planning to doing it till mid-May every year, because they're going to have something to talk about until the end of the season.
Yeah, and you love to see a bunch of teams going deep and playing to the last day. And one of them will be joining us here because Keely Good, who we talked about a couple days ago, their Beaufort Academy girls head into the state championship to face Holy Trinity, and they get the job done. Kaylee and the BA Lady Eagles are state champions at the Skiza 1A, 2A level with a 3-1 victory over Holy Trinity. Kaylee, congratulations. Describe the feeling waking up this morning and being a state champ.
Thank you. Yeah, the feeling was amazing. I mean, right at the moment too, it was the best feeling ever. And the team, just because they were our crosstown rivals, and we went down 1-0, and then we came back, and it was an amazing game.
Yeah, definitely. So speak to us. When you guys went down 1-0, you guys have played Holy Trinity before earlier in the season, beat them 3-1. But it's different when you're in a state championship game, right? Especially when you guys have traveled all the way to Columbia, playing a field that you're not used to playing. What was the team's reaction when you guys went down 1-0? Was there any sense of panic, concern, or you guys say, hey, just keep doing what we're doing? We got this.
Yeah, it's really hard. When you go down 1-0, I feel like the adrenaline just started to kick in, but it didn't really kick in until the second half because everyone was kind of freaking out in the last 10 minutes of the first half. So then halftime kind of cooled us down, and we got excited and ready, and the adrenaline kicked in the second half, and we just played really well.
What were the biggest adjustments or just messages to you and your team as you get ready to take the field for the second half and then make this comeback?
Yeah. So a lot of people were at halftime were kind of trying to move positions around and do stuff differently to try and get our heads back in the game, but we just ended up staying with the plan, what we originally do, what we always do, and I think that helped best. That worked the best that it could.
Yeah. So, talk. I know we spoke to you Friday night and kind of the season that you've had, an eighth grader, and the phenomenal stats that you've done so far this season. How you guys have done. Talk to us now. With now that you guys are state champions, what do you see for next year? Now you are the top dog. You guys are going to have the ones that are going to have the mark on your back. Everyone who plays you is going to bring their A game because there's nothing better than to dethrone the champion. So how do you shift and how do you prepare and how do you prepare the team to kind of shift into being, hey, we're chasing for a title. Now we're the top dogs. Now we're the champions. Everyone's going to come after our crown.
Yeah, I mean, we're losing a decent amount of people, but I still think that if we play like we did this season, we work as hard as we did, and then we can do it again. And I think that just having that motivation helps.
When you guys were able to come back and win that state championship this year, describe what you did in the second half, to describe, the effort that was raised by your teammates in order to dig deep and get the job done and accomplish something special. I mean, just, talk about your teammates and how they kind of, complement your efforts and how you all push together to get to that accomplishment and bring home a state title.
Yeah, so the whole team is kind of just hyping each other up, which helps a lot. And working as a team was the main thing to bring us home with the champion. But I think just how we worked as a team the second half rather than the first half when we were freaking out, kind of, and knowing that we had to score was kind of what helped us.
So let's flash back into preseason. You guys are tryouts, getting ready for the season. Did you guys picture yourselves ending the season as state champions, or was it, we want to be as best as we can be and grow?
I mean, that was always the goal, but I don't think people on the team believed we could accomplish that goal at first until the end of the season when we realized like we were actually there and we could do this.
Keely, just an eighth grader, such a bright future ahead of you. What's next for you as you get ready into the summer? What's in store in terms of your club soccer, your travel portion of your game? What are your goals as you get ready for your freshman season and look to, pursue another state title and continue to grow as a player?
Yeah, so I have this coming week off for like the first time ever. And then I go right back out at 3 times a week for my club team because we have nationals in Ohio at the end of June. So I'll be practicing till then. And then I have ODP, like regional tryouts, like July 10th or something like that. And then so I'll be pretty busy all summer just with soccer. And I'll try to fit in some ID camps within that to get me ready for freshman year.
So, Kelly, are you hoping to be a dual champion? So you guys won state championship at BA, and now your 09 girls team, which finished first in the DPL. You guys had an impressive season. It was a 21-1 and like a plus 100 something goal difference, if I remember correctly. Now you're going into nationals in the DPL. You want that national title, don't you?
Yes, we do. I think we're going to see some teams that we've already seen before. And I think we can beat them, and I think we can bring back that championship also.
Well, Keely, today is Mother's Day, and I'm sure you're able to celebrate with your mom and just to think about all that she's done for you to help get you to this point. How thankful are you for all that your mother has done to make you a successful person, soccer player? And her belief in you that's empowered you to get to this level, and just how grateful that you are for her support.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for her and her bringing me everywhere and, just believing in me and everything. So, I'm really grateful for that.
Did you tell your mom today, Happy Mother's Day? And she's like, where's my gift? And you say, you are the mother of a state champion. Was that your gift to her?
I should have said that.
Hey, you still got time. You still have time before you go to bed. Hey, Mom, final gift of the night. You're welcome. You now have a state champion child.
That's fantastic. Just looking back on this year, how proud are you of what your teammates did, the run that you went on, and just I mean, the emotion there after, going through all those early practices, all those workouts, to finally achieve that ultimate goal. There's no better feeling at the end when that final whistle blows and you get to hug and celebrate and just look back on all that you did to accomplish this big time achievement.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, everything kind of went by so quickly, but the feeling right at when that whistle blew, like you said, was like the best feeling ever. Like I've never like won a state championship. I'm only in 8th grade, so I've never experienced that, but it was the best I could ever imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, just an 8th grader, winning a state championship your first varsity season, and now you're going to go try and win a national championship for the DPO with your 09 girls. So, how are you going to enjoy this week off? Because one thing with some people don't realize with travel soccer, especially at your age group, you guys are playing year round and you're traveling so much with different games in the league that you guys play in. And then you added high school on top of that, not just high school as a player, but also as a student. So how much are you looking forward to being able to just rest and not have to worry about practice and training and driving here and going there to go on the field again?
I'm excited for a week off. I mean, I love I love the busyness. I love soccer, but sometimes it's a lot, and I'm excited for this week off.
Good. So just make sure when you go to practice with Coach Miguel, bring that state championship trophy with you and just show it off to the girls and let Coach Miguel know, hey, you got a state championship on your roster now, so you're welcome.
When you're not in the field, you like to, hang out with your friends, go to the beach. I know there's a lot of time to, just take it all in, celebrate, and be able to do some fun things over the next few days.
Yeah, I was at the pool for a long time today, and I love going to the beach and the pool with my friends and just hanging out. And that's, along with soccer, those are probably like my two favorite things.
Just looking big picture here, Kaylee. What are your goals over these next 4 years at the high school level, and do you have your eye on playing at the next level?
Yeah, I think we can. I mean, I think we should do our best next year. We're losing so many good players, but I think we can still do our thing with the rest of our team that's coming back, and I think we can get it done again next year, in the next few years. Hopefully, we get some new players too.
Well, you've been off to a fantastic start so far as a Beaufort Academy Eagle. Kaylee, good. Congratulations on a fantastic season and a heck of your start to your high school career, and a lot more to come. Can't wait to talk to you again next year.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Keely. What a terrific young woman who, in such a short time, has been a sensation for the BA Eagles. Actually talked to us a few days ago about getting in there as a 7th grader last year. Immediately, second half, finds a way to put the ball in the back of the net. Just, man, she is a talented, driven individual that shows that both in the classroom and on the field. And if she keeps this up, I think really big things are in store for that BA program going forward as they look to repeat in 2024 and beyond.
Yeah, no, and like I said, on Friday night, she's a part of a very talented 09 age group that's coming into our area. They've been very successful on the club side. As you guys just saw, they're getting ready to go to nationals in Cincinnati later this summer. And there's a lot of players in that team from our area, right? That team is made up of Georgia and South Carolina-based players in Tormenta, but there's a lot of players in our area that play high school. 8th graders cannot play varsity in high school and public high school. So next year you may see some of these 09 names pop up in some varsity rosters as well. So it just kind of goes, we talked about Wes before she joined us, about the future of soccer in this area. How we look at the macro nationally. We got the World Cup coming. We got Copa America coming. We got all these events coming. You have now the Premier League is bringing games here soon in Atlanta, where they're going to have actual Premier League games and all that. So you just kind of see the growth and the success of just not the MLS, but also NWSL, USL, and you have like Savannah Clovers now with professional team. You have Tormenta right down the road. So that's going to help kind of grow the game even more. And I think you're going to see the talent even grow here, where you're going to see more competitiveness from our teams in the public and private side for the boys and girls, as you've seen this year.
It's just only beginning. I mean, just great to see so many teams still in it and playing on that last day. To have 6 teams in 5 games across South Carolina High School League and Skeeza, that is quite an accomplishment. So congratulations to all of our 6 teams, and once again, congratulations to both our state champs, Hilton Prep girls and Beaufort Academy girls, and thanks to everyone who joined us here today. Came on to speak about their newly earned state title. So, I mean, just a fantastic weekend to cap off an amazing spring of high school soccer. And, that might be maybe behind us now, but you mentioned soccer rarely ever stops. So we've always got something to talk about, whether it's on the high school level, whether it's on the college stage, as many of our athletes, former stars, get ready for their next seasons at the college level, and as you mentioned about Keeley and so many others, these young men, young women. I mean, the grind never stops. They're getting ready for club tournaments, for ODP camps, and they're continuing to find a way to get better. Nice to take a couple days off to celebrate state title, but as Kaylee mentioned, and as we allude to, it's going to be right back to work as they look to continue to improve their craft. Going into this summer and beyond. So we cannot wait for these next few months to see the improvements that these players are going to make, because it's the championships are won in May, but the foundation is laid now in the summer, in the fall, getting to the level that these girls and guys have been at now. It's a process, and it takes a whole year and more than that, of several years of talent and hard work combined to make state championship squads like we saw with the Hilton Prep Dolphins team and that BA girls team and that Beaufort High squad. And it's a process. I mean, we talked about it with the Eagles head coach Terry Rollins about the journey, and when he talked to his postgame, he mentioned this was a journey. This was not just a 1-year journey; it was a 4-year, 5-year journey to propel this squad to the heights that they've reached now. And it just goes to show you. I mean, this Lowco squad, this Lowco area, it may not sometimes get the recognition of some of those big Charleston areas, those Columbia areas, but we have the talent that can go up against anybody and find a way to hang our heads high at the end and put our best game at them. And we saw that on display Saturday night.
Yeah, and you're going to continue seeing it. We have players who will be recognized for all state, players who will be recognized for all region on the high school league and the Skeeza side. We heard Coach Arisa said that, she's now reaching out to public schools in the area because she wants to be able to play tougher competition to help her girls on their quest in being state champions. And you saw the results of that. I think you're going to see more of that as well, where hopefully the private schools in the area take advantage of the public schools that are here, because we do have so many competitive teams in the area that just helps you kind of get better, right? For me personally as a coach, our schedule this year was the toughest we've had. I look back at our schedule. Every team we had scheduled for non-region games made the playoffs this year. We had Ashley Ridge on our schedule, who ended up being the 5A state champions. Oceanside, those games got rained out, but they ended up winning the 2A state championship. We had a Catawba Ridge. All these games are very tough from different areas of the state that kind of help measure where you are as a program and where you are as a team, and helps the players see, okay, this is what we need to do to get better if we want to get to that next tier. And I think you're going to see more teams doing that. You see like a Bluffton boys who's scheduling more games. Bluffton girls schedule some tough games, as did May River. You're going to see that as a trend because it's going to become necessary. If you want to be the best in your class, whether it's Skeeza or high school league, you're going to have to go up against some bigger programs and better programs to measure yourself up and see where you need to get, especially with the amount of youth talent that we have coming in across our area in both the boys and girls. Those young players are going to get better when they get to deal with adversity early on.
Well, the future is bright here for the Lowco soccer scene, both at the boys and the girls level across South Carolina High School League and Skeeza. We are set up for a couple exciting years ahead in the soccer realm. So, Misa, it's been a pleasure to do these podcasts with you this year. High school season may be coming to an end, but we're still going to have some additions to this show over the off season to get you caught up on what's going on at the club scene, and talk soccer with, maybe some college-bound athletes, some coaches, a lot of soccer. We have so much talent and some alums. To be a good time to catch up with some former players who have left their mark in the Low Country. So opportunities are endless for what we can do with this podcast moving forward. But Misael, it's been such a fun season, and it's been great to come on Sunday nights and talk some soccer with you.
Yeah, hopefully, thank you guys who have been tuning in every week. I get some good positive feedback from a lot of fans and players and supporters that they enjoyed the podcast. We did it live this year for the first time. I think it's very successful. I enjoy. You kind of see us kind of just in our natural state, just kind of flow and go everything. Wes, this is probably the best year we've had interviews. The interviews we've had this year were phenomenal from the players and coaches, and that's something we want to continue, but we are looking to grow in a way. And then, one way you can help us is share the stream, click on YouTube, follow Lowco Sports, do all that other good stuff, follow, subscribe, like, especially Lowco FC. Let Justin know that, hey, Lowco FC is the best podcast of all the ones that they do. They have Lowco Lowdown. They have Diamond Dudes. We got the basketball one. They're probably going to do a football one. But listen, just go ahead and bombard his inbox and say, hey, all those are great, but they don't top Lowco FC. And if you want to be a sponsor, you got a business to help continue this thing going, we do want to reach out to us and let us, give us some funding because we enjoy doing this. We are having some big things planned also in the future for our seniors in the off season that we want to do, partner with Lowco FC. So just giving you a little teaser here, but that's something we're working on behind the scenes to do for the sport. But yeah, Wes, it's been fun. Season 2. This is season 2. I think we'll get renewed for season 3. I don't know. Let me have my agent talk to Justin here, see what happens. Wes, we get a little bump, in a little prime time slot. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for supporting the comments, sharing everything. And again, this is for our players. We enjoy doing this because it brings a spotlight to our players. Even if we're tired, like Wes, I didn't get back till almost 1 o'clock in the morning last night, and we were at the gas station together after the game, and I had to get some pick-me-ups to get me to the ride home. But we're here. We're so happy for our players. We want to continue putting our players, not just in high school, but also in the summer. There's a lot of alumni that are playing college now on the boys and girls side. We got a few Georgia Southern players on the girls side. We got some on the boys side. We even got alumni playing professionally at Savannah Clovers as well. Sonny Quintanilla, who is a Battery Creek alum, he's over at Savannah Clovers. So we want to get these interviews in and kind of show you just the scope of soccer in the Lowco.
Yeah, it doesn't end here after the final whistle blew on Saturday. We've got Lowco stars at every level of the game. They're tuned to show out and make our area proud, and goes back to our mission to shine a light on all of our Lowco athletes, whether they're here playing high school soccer or beyond, repping us across the country or overseas. All of us, we're so proud of these student athletes, and you mentioned it. I mean, these interviews this year have been absolutely spectacular. All the credit to these amazing young men and women and these coaches that have done a good job motivating and helping them become the amazing people, amazing athletes, and amazing, future leaders that they are. So we thank all of them. We thank all of our extraordinary guests today from Hilton Ed Prep and Beaufort Academy. Congratulations again on taking home state championships and bringing them to the Lowco. Fantastic seasons, and congratulations to all of our 6 teams that earned the opportunity to play here on Championship Saturday. Thanks again to Misael Garzon. Thanks to our guests. Thanks to our sponsors. And above all, thanks to all of you for tuning in all spring long. We can't wait to do it again next year. And once again, we'll be, as we mentioned, we'll be back doing some shows in and out over these next few weeks as, we get some guests on to talk soccer, because the grind never stops for these players, these coaches, and for us as well. So for Misael Garzon, I am Wes Kerr. Until next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco FC podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, providing grassroots local sports journalism in the South Carolina Lowcountry. To become a sponsor of this show and market your business or organization to our audience, send email to lowcosports@gmail.com. That's LOWCO sports@gmail.com. You can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/LowcoSports. Your monthly pledge will help us continue to provide great grassroots local sports journalism. Go Lowco.